Headlines come our way in 25 minutes. Right now, it's Lucy on the Cybernet.
Hello, you're watching Cybernet with me, Lucy Longhurst. Get ready to meet some stupid aliens, become a top DJ, fly to the moon, and get in touch with your artistic side. It's sensational. It's Cybernet. Welcome to the show. There's a general consensus that if aliens ever visited Earth, they would be intelligent. But what if they were stupid? What if they were really stupid? Well, these are the Stupid Invaders on the Dreamcast, and boy, are they dumb.
Way to go, bud. For once you put that insignificant, dried-up raisin of a brain to good use.
The plot, like the aliens, is simple. 5 of them are trapped here on Earth, and they need to help escape both our planet and the clutches of the evil Dr. Saccharin. The Doc is a mad scientist working in a government lab called Area 52, which is near Area 51, presumably, and he's hired an evil bounty hunter who'll track down and thwart our dumb heroes' plans. To help these misdirected Martians, you must complete some relatively simple puzzles. This doesn't sound too difficult, but be warned, your aliens are very fragile and the environments are lethal. Anything, literally anything, can see your alien destroyed. However, much of Stupid Invaders consists of cutscenes. They are very funny, but there's so many that the actual game is much shorter than it could be. The graphics are excellent and the characters and environments are imaginative. The 3D engine is also superb, which makes the cutscenes and the interactive sequences almost identical in quality. Stupid Invaders impresses with its humour and wit, but we found it rather lacking in the gameplay department. If you're into toilet humour and general stupidity, you'll be pleased, but if you're into something more challenging, give these little green men a miss. If you've been giving your keyboard a real bashing whilst playing Star Wars Battle for Naboo, never fear, help is at hand. Get ready to jot down this extremely useful cheat. Go to the options menu, then enter the passcode section and type in L, F, Z, W, K, X, A, and A. Now you'll have infinite lives, so even if the unthinkable happens, you can still battle on through missions of fierce, action-packed arcade-style fighting to restore freedom to the planet. There's no stopping you now as you hum along in your sleek land speeder, get blown up, and just carry on without having to start all over again. Fantastic. Amongst the stars and jet off into space for another multimedia extravaganza. Time to take a look at Addy's Complete Learning Pack. Your host for the trip is Addy himself, and he's got a confession to make.
Welcome, my friend. But first of all, there's something I have to tell you. I am an alien.
Now that's off his chest, it's your turn. You start by creating a user character by manipulating hair, face and clothing. You also complete a character file of likes and dislikes and decorate your own virtual room. There, lovely. Then it's on to Addy's room, where there are subject-based areas full of facts. Let's take a look at the music corner. Very soothing. Information is presented in the form of interactive documents and simulations so that children can learn and research at their own pace. And as well as imparting knowledge, the pack also has dedicated testing areas on a separate CD. This is the Maths Pod, full of numerical exercises. What fun. As a home tutor package, Addy works well. There's an online facility too, although you will need to subscribe to this. Parents can set difficulty levels according to the appropriate school year and check up to see how their child is getting on. We'll leave the last word to the teacher.
I hope you enjoyed this little interstellar trip. Just you wait. What comes next is even more staggering.
3, 2, 1, go!
Move over Mario Kart and make way Micro Machines. The original cartoon Crazy Karters are speeding, sliding and skidding to a console near you in Wacky Races for the PlayStation 2.
All right, you guys, everybody up and push.
Dastardly and Muttley's colourful PS2 debut is a frantic racing game where practical driving, realistic tracks and even the highway code is sacrificed in favour of cartoon fun, outrageous weapons and sneaky shortcuts.
Well, you're no gentleman.
To stay in pole position, players can use a range of hilarious attacks. Each racer's weapons are powered by the pink wacky tokens which litter each course, so make sure you grab as many as you can or you'll fall foul of the other tooled-up speed freaks.
Hey, you're missing the race!
If you want a fun driving game, Wacky Races is the one to buy. Gran Turismo fans won't be impressed by the garish graphics and crazy courses, but the young at heart will have a hoot as they tear up the tracks. Go on, put your foot down. Over the years at Cybernet, we've pushed the virtual pedal to the metal in cars, karts, planes, boats and even taxis. But now it's time for something a little different, as we try our hand at professional trucking in 18-wheeler on the Dreamcast. 18-wheeler sees players tearing across North America from New York to San Francisco, delivering valuable cargo along the way. The game is played against the clock, so budding truckers need quick reactions and nerves of steel if they're to reach their destination before the timer hits 0. 18-wheeler was originally an arcade machine, so to spice up the gameplay, this version features a new mode where 2 players can compete on specially designed tracks. Also unique to this console version are the tough driving challenges where you have to squeeze your massive rig down narrow alleyways and winding back roads into fiendishly tight parking spaces. Go on, you can get a bus through there. While 18-wheeler is fun, its lifespan is limited and experienced players will finish it in a single sitting. However, if you're looking for short-term thrills, 18-wheeler gets a big 10-4 from us. We all know about webcams, but did you know that the internet's webcam community is now a major global phenomenon? They're everywhere, from offices to theme parks. They're capturing life 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And there are even webcam houses, where you can tune into the lives of ordinary students to see what they're getting up to. To navigate your way around the hundreds of thousands of sites, you're going to need a bit of help. And that's where the net's webcam directories come in. Our first one, Around the World in 80 Days, lets you pick your country and then gives you a choice of live sites available. So you can take a look at what's happening in Times Square, take a few peeks at Moscow, or even Hong Kong. By far the best directory is earthcam.com. On this site, there's a bewildering range of images to choose from. Each camera is classified by subject matter, and with the website address linked to the directory, you can go straight to what you want to see. Here's Bondi Beach in the morning. Almost everything you can think of is here. You can take a look from the bridge of any one of a fleet of cruise liners, or check out some stunning 180-degree picture postcards from the island of Dominica. But the most original webcam site has to be the world's first internet taxi. With a camera fitted to his car's dashboard, this New York cabbie beams live images over the net as he drives around the city. You can pick any part of the town you like from the archives available and see some incredible 360-degree views from your PC. So pick your dream destination and get on the net, because there's never been a better time to take a look around you.
feeling glad I got
We go out to all the aspiring DJs in the house now with a title designed to unlock the PS2's audio capabilities and bring the world of music to your console. We'll save the introductions for club DJ and remixer extraordinaire David Morales.
If you're looking to take it to the next level, looking to up your game, the MTV Music Generator 2 is for you.
At your fingertips is a vertically scrolling music grid which doubles as a 48-track editing deck and sound mixer. Included in the package is a massive library of 9,000 riffs and samples in easy-to-use song blocks. These editable blocks cover 8 different music styles for pop, house, hip-hop, garage, indie, rock, trance and R&B. To create your track, you simply load the sample of your choice into the mixing grid. And if you get stuck for ideas, they've included 9 different commercial tracks to show you how the professionals do it.
Stop the rock. Stop the rock. Can't stop the rock. You can't stop.
So if you want to be like David here, this package will show you how.
Get in there and make it happen.
Okay, time for our competition now, so grab a pen. This week's excellent prize is a PlayStation and a copy of Mary Kate and Ashley Winner's Circle to play on it. So prepare to go equestrian crazy in this adventure of discovery and competitive horse riding. To win this prize, just call our number and answer this question. What is Muttley? Is he A, a dog, B, a cat, or C, a fish? If you think you know, call 09009 113333. Please dial carefully and don't forget to ask permission from the person who pays the telephone bill first. We'll put up the question and number again at the end of today's show, so get dialing and good luck. Coming up, we fly to the moon, get lost in the dark, meet monsters from space, and can computers really make art?
Long, long ago, well, last weekend actually, a kind and gentle father took his 2 sons to a magical land. There, villains were shaken by his courage. His bravery knew no limits. And though he couldn't prove himself to be the one true king, he certainly proved he was one cool dad. Disneyland Paris, call 08705030301 and come and live the magic.
For the reload, bound for the bound for the reload, bound for the bound for the reload. Mr. DJ, give me that reload. Yo, check out the new album, Execute. The limited edition CD includes ODBs. Got your money. The album, Execute, out next week.
Get ready. Strap yourself to the sofa for a whole new sports channel dedicated to football.
Oh, fantastic hit! He is absolutely unbelievable!
Capture all the tension and excitement.
Another dramatic moment!
I've never seen anything like it.
With the best live and exclusive coverage.
That is superb.
From Britain's favourite television network.
I dare you to tune away from this one.
ITV Sport Channel, the heart and soul of football.
Welcome back to part 2 of Cybernet. Welcome to Shadow Island. For those of you with a weak disposition, look away now. This is Alone in the Dark, the new nightmare.
What was that?
The controls are dead! Put that on. We have to jump. Go!
At the centre of the island sits the family home of Obed Morton, archaeologist, anthropologist and dabbler in the occult, a man who has unwittingly unleashed some terrifying, unearthly forces.
Things, terrifying things, shadows, living shadows. It's awful. Come and get me, I'm begging you, come quick.
Aline! Aline!
In an attempt to distinguish itself from survival horror titles like Resident Evil, Alone in the Dark heralds the arrival of a new genre dubbed survival tension. Instead of showing themselves, the creatures here have a habit of turning off the lights, plunging the room into darkness, and then attacking en masse. This means that wherever you are, the atmosphere becomes so stressful and uneasy that you'll find yourself shooting into nothing just to ease the tension. And this game has loads of tricks to increase the levels of suspense. From unnerving camera angles, mirrors and flashlight shadows to sound effects of screams and unknown noises. This game is not recommended for younger players, but if you like atmosphere, this new nightmare will provide you with all the edge-of-your-seat frights you're ever going to want. If you're in need of more revved-up excitement from Ducati World, the fantastic motorcycle racer on the Dreamcast, then grab a pen and try this nifty little cheat. At the password screen in the options menu, type in "It's All Over." That's ITSALLOVE and R. Now all the levels on the quick race mode will be unlocked. Here's a chance to really burn rubber around the track. See what your mean machine's made of and go crazy riding at death-defying speeds. This cheat will really let you test out your driving abilities. In fact, it's incredible. There's even a chance to try a bit of rock climbing. Hold tight now for the top 10 all-format chart. At number 10, it's FIFA 2001 on the PS2. Colin McRae rallies speeds back into 9th place. Theme Park World's still wowing players at 8. At 7, it's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The Sims House Party is annoying the neighbours at 6. And at 5, ISS Pro Evolution 2 scores on the PlayStation. Everyone's favourite Teletots are having a ball at 4. And Black and White's still weaving its magic at 3. In second place, Bart hits the mat in Simpsons Wrestling. But Pokey Power rules with gold and silver tied at the top. Get ready for a real-time strategy twosome now. First up, Conflict Zone for the PC. The year is 2010 and 2 world coalitions vie for control of the planet. You play as either the conciliatory International Corps for Peace or the shadowy Ghost faction dedicated only to the interests of its members and intent on destabilizing the world. What sets the game apart as an RTS is that success depends on more than just military prowess. Equally as important is astute media manipulation.
I don't need to remind you that the ICP really needs this media coverage to keep Karpov under pressure.
There's a good variety of in-depth missions for you to take on, whichever side you choose. And with 3 different level settings, the AI is particularly sophisticated. As you progress, you get to control speciality commanders who will act independently until you tell them otherwise. You assign funds for construction, then leave them to get on with it. Of course, all this war could get a little serious, and Conflict Zone has just the antidote. Throughout the game are amusing cutscenes to lighten the mood. All in all then, a polished, original, surefire hit. We stay in RTS mode now with the Moon Project. It's the 22nd century and 3 battling factions are once again having a bit of a tiff. In this, the follow-up to last year's real-time strategy action title, Earth 2150. Earth is once again doomed to destruction, being on a collision course with the Sun, and unsurprisingly, everyone wants to move to Mars. Each of the forces begins with a base containing research areas, mining facilities, and munitions plants. Everything you need to keep churning out those combat units. Amazingly, the artificial intelligence that's so impressed in Earth 2150 has been improved. Units sensing defeat will turn and run, whilst invading troops will strike a power station to stop your production of replacement forces. The Moon project is unlikely to make an impact in the way that its predecessor did, but the battle scenarios are stunning. When you consider that many levels have networks of tunnels running underground, you can begin to appreciate how complex the battles can become. And how dangerous. The world of art has seen many revolutions, from Impressionism to Cubism, so it's surprising that in this day and age there's one form of art that eludes the mainstream, the kind that's produced on one of these. This fellow is William Latham, one of the world's leading computer artists and a staunch advocate of digital designs.
In about 1979, I got interested in the idea of using computers to make art. One started to see images that were coming out of computers that started to look realistic. There were sort of metal goblets that looked like they were made out of real metal. And it suddenly became clear to me that in using a computer, you could produce an alternative reality.
The result of Latham's curiosity led to his unique brand of organic art, which forms the cornerstone of his hugely successful computer artworks company. However, there are many more artists and filmmakers embracing digital and computer technology who find little opportunity to demonstrate their work. Enter 1.0, an annual event held in London.
1.0 is a digital creativity festival. It's also a digital moving image project, which encompasses lots of things. The main thing being a 10-day annual festival here at the ICA, exploring new forms and hybrids of moving image. We've been responsible for a lot of new work being produced, and that's the kind of the long-lasting legacy, if there is one, of 1.0. It'll be the work that's been produced that wouldn't have been done otherwise.
But despite the acclaim received by such exhibitions, the fact remains that there's a certain amount of snobbery in the art world concerning digitized films and computer art.
What is surprising to me is that in the art world now, you can see all sorts of things in art galleries, white paintings hanging on walls, vacuum cleaners standing on plinths. But what is extraordinary is that the art world still has a problem with computers, the idea of a computer making art.
However, hope springs eternal. 1.0 has been a success for 5 years now, and even in this short time, a change in attitude is evident.
Look at the work we've shown in recent years, and it has totally filtered down to the mainstream through advertising, idents on television. Computer gaming obviously is now becoming much more recognised as beyond just a toy. It is becoming an art form in its own right, and we're pushing that as well.
Computer-generated images are finally gaining prestige in the commercial sector, but in years to come they may even succeed in replacing the canvas on our walls.
What one's looking at are new forms of art where you maybe have computer screens that are 8 feet square and they hang on your living room wall, and that becomes like a moving canvas where computer artists can create all sorts of extraordinary artworks.
Until then, it's left to people like us games players to appreciate just how remarkable computer art can be. But in 10 years' time, who knows what you'll be able to see at your local gallery. Ah, space. Calm, serene, peaceful. Well, unless giant tentacled rocks are threatening to invade, that is. And wouldn't you know it, in Silpheed on the PlayStation 2, that's exactly what's happening. Thankfully, the Earth has formulated an inspired plan to stop them. Send a lone pilot deep into enemy territory with a new prototype spaceship and blow them all to smithereens. Ingenious. Yes, it's another scrolling shooter, but hang on, this one's really rather good. Unlike the retro Gradius, Silpheed at least makes an effort to use the power of the PlayStation 2, and the result is an eminently enjoyable blast. Rather than pick up new weapons along the way, you have to decide which armaments to equip on each wing before every mission. And because you're limited to only 2 choices, you really have to think carefully. Thankfully, a mid-stage refuel lets you change your mind if things aren't going your way. We know that these games aren't to everyone's taste, but if dodging hundreds of slow-moving bullets gives you goosebumps, then you'll be more than happy with this title. Hopefully next time Earth's defences will get wise and send a whole fleet to tackle the problem. Well, those guys won't be back in a hurry. Tune in next time for even more fantastic games and features from around the world. Don't forget you can always try our competition to win a console. Until then, here's a sneak preview of the upcoming Technomage. It's the best. It's Cybernet.
This is ITV Nighttime. In a couple of minutes tonight with Trevor McDonald includes an investigation into why so many folk are deserting Marks and Spencer when it once reigned supreme on the high street. First, it's the news headlines from ITN at 2:15 with Karen Roberts.
Good morning. At least 15 people are confirmed dead after a wedding hall collapsed in Israel. Emergency workers are trying to rescue guests still buried under the rubble. Around 700 people had been dancing at a wedding at the hall in Jerusalem when it collapsed. Israeli police say they do not believe it was a terrorist act. Public services are back in the forefront of the election campaign. Tony Blair claimed there was now a central dividing line between Labour, committed to spending more, and the Conservatives. William Hague again challenged him to a live television debate on the issue. Charles Kennedy said Labour and the Conservatives both had unbelievable agendas. Postal workers are returning to work this morning to deal with the backlog of nearly 50 million letters and parcels. The unofficial strike has ended after staff in Watford agreed to a deal struck between the Royal Mail and the Communication Workers Union. The jury in the Jill Dando murder trial has been shown more videotapes of the police questioning the accused, Barry George. They heard him denying that he'd ever owned a gun until he was shown a photograph recovered from his flat. He then admitted he'd had a replica gun. That's it. I'll be back later.
This is ITV Nighttime with a crime thriller movie in 40 minutes, Jailbreak, but first we rerun tonight with Trevor McDonald.
Tonight, the shop that dropped. Would you buy a new dress from this store?
I was sort of under the impression that they always were right up with the colours and the fashions.
But they're not, because they in fact designed the mother of the bride outfit that you would not be seen dead in.
Yeah, well, there you go.
What has gone wrong at M&S?
They got either arrogant or complacent. What they didn't do is keep their eye on the market.
Also tonight, Silent Partner.
We've just always enjoyed being together. She's the most wonderful woman I've ever met.
The truth about Fionn.
Is there not a temptation to let her appear in front of the cameras a bit more?
I don't think of her as an asset. She's who I'm married to.
Plus Slaughter of the Innocents.
How can I walk from here when I think my son's blood is here?
When children become targets.
I'm reporting on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict from both sides and of the children caught in between.
The stories that matter to you. Tonight with Trevor McDonald.
Walk on by. Why are women deserting M&S? Good evening. It's become something of a national debate. What is wrong with Marks and Spencer? Women in their 30s, the core target for M&S, are walking straight past the most famous name in the high street and taking their custom elsewhere. This week, to no one's surprise, Marks and Spencer announced that their profits were down for the 3rd year in a row. What they didn't reveal was that the sale of clothes continued to fall disastrously. Heads have rolled and new designers have been brought in. But so far, though, none of this appears to be working. So, is M&S past its sell-by date? Linda Duberly investigates.
London, last Thursday. More than 2,000 shop workers from all over Europe vent their fury against...